You invited me into your house. You fed me with praise.
Leave my sister alone.
Glow must balance.
Take me instead.
You enjoyed it too much. Now she pays.
Please.
Return what is mine.
What if the one thing that made you shine was the very thing trying to drown you?
Hi guys, welcome back to Tales by Steph, a home of interesting African stories. So pull up a chair and let's get into the story.
Lagos can change a person without warning. One minute you are invisible in the crowd, the next minute you are shining so brightly that even strangers feel entitled to your story. Bella had lived in Lagos for 8 years, and for 8 years she had remained ordinary, not ugly, not unfortunate, just ordinary. She lived with her younger sister Adaeze in a 2-room apartment in Surulere. The building was old, painted a tired cream that had surrendered to weather and time. From their balcony you could see buses fighting for space on the road, hear hawkers advertising gala and pure water, and smell fried plantain from the woman downstairs. Bella was 27. She worked as a customer service assistant in a small logistics company on Lagos Island. The salary was barely enough. She dressed neatly, spoke politely, and kept her head down. People rarely remembered her name. Adaeze was different. Adaeze was light, not just in complexion, but in presence. She had finished university with strong results. She was confident, outspoken, sharp. Even the landlord liked her more. When they walked together, people naturally spoke to Adaeze first. Bella loved her sister deeply. They had grown up sharing one bed, one plate, one dream of escaping poverty. But love does not cancel comparison, and comparison in Lagos is dangerous. One evening, as they sat eating rice and stew on the small plastic table in their living room, Adaeze laughed while scrolling through her phone. "Bella, guess what? That multinational company finally emailed me. Final interview stage." Bella smiled. "That's good." Adaeze looked up. "When will your own company promote you? You've been there long." Bella shrugged. "Promotion doesn't come by force." Adaeze leaned closer and studied her sister's face. "Bella, you are too quiet. Sometimes I feel like you are hiding inside yourself." Bella laughed lightly. "You talk too much." They both laughed, but something stayed heavy inside Bella's chest. That Saturday afternoon, Bella decided to visit a boutique in Surulere. She had no plan to buy anything. She just wanted to look at nice things and pretend for a few minutes that her life was more polished than it felt. The boutique was cool and quiet. Soft music played. The floor tiles shone. Bella picked a red gown and entered the dressing room. Inside, the mirror stretched from floor to ceiling. She slipped into the gown and turned slowly. It fit beautifully, but she still looked like herself. Ordinary Bella. Then her heel touched something. She looked down. A lipstick. Gold case. Heavy. Elegant. She bent and picked it up. The red inside was deep and rich, darker than any lipstick she had owned. It almost looked wet. She looked around. Nobody was there. For a moment she hesitated. Then she applied it. The lipstick moved smoothly across her lips like it belonged there. She raised her head. Her breath caught. Her face looked elevated. Her skin appeared smoother. Her eyes brighter. Her cheekbones sharper. Her entire presence stronger. She leaned closer to the mirror. "Is this me?" Her reflection stared back confidently. When she stepped out of the dressing room, the sales assistant froze mid-sentence. "Madam, you look stunning." Another woman in the boutique turned and whispered, "Wow." Bella felt something rise inside her chest, something warm, something powerful. Outside, 2 men stared openly as she passed. By Monday, everything accelerated. Her boss called her into his office. "Bella, I've been observing you. You have leadership presence." Leadership presence? She had never heard those words directed at her before. He assigned her to handle a major client. By afternoon, her phone buzzed. "Adaeze." "Bella, Adaeze said. My interview was postponed. Bella frowned. Postponed? Why? They said internal restructuring. That same evening, Adaeze complained of sudden tiredness. Bella stood in front of the mirror at night, staring at her lips. The color still looked perfect. She wiped it off before sleeping. The next morning, she woke up and the lipstick was back on her lips. Perfectly applied. She was shocked. She ran to her bag. The gold case sat neatly inside, cold, waiting. That was the first time she felt fear. But she still wore it to work, because the compliments felt good, because the attention-filled spaces she did not know were empty, because for the first time in Lagos, Bella was being seen, and deep beneath the waters surrounding the city, something ancient stirred. Bella told herself she would stop using the lipstick. She said it 3 times in front of the mirror like a promise. But promises are easy to make when the world is not watching you glow. The next morning, she went to work without it. The difference was sharp. Nobody looked twice. Her boss barely noticed her. A colleague interrupted her during a presentation and dismissed her idea. By lunchtime, she felt small again, almost erased. When she returned home that evening, she sat quietly on her bed, staring at the gold case on her table. It looked harmless, beautiful, waiting. She told herself she would just apply it for one more day, just to confirm something. The moment the color touched her lips, warmth rushed through her veins. Her back straightened, her breathing deepened. Her reflection looked confident, almost proud. The next day at work, everything shifted again. Her boss praised her openly in front of the staff. Bella, you are exceptional. Her co-workers stared with new respect. Her phone buzzed at that exact moment. Adaeze. Bella ignored it at first, wanting to enjoy the applause, but the call kept coming. She stepped outside to answer. Adaeze's voice sounded strained. Bella, I don't feel fine. Bella's stomach tightened. What happened? I don't know. Since morning I've been weak. My head feels heavy. Bella's mind began connecting the pattern she had been avoiding. Compliment, praise, weakness. She rushed home after work. Adaeze lay on the couch, pale and sweating. Bella, I feel like something is draining me, she whispered. Bella stared at her sister's lips. They looked dull, almost dry. She touched her own lips unconsciously. The red looked richer than ever. That night, Bella dreamed of standing on a dark Lagos beach. Something moved beneath the surface. Slowly, a woman rose from the water. Her skin shimmered like wet stone. Long black hair clung to her shoulders. Her eyes were deep and calm, but terrifying. You like the way they look at you, the woman said without moving her lips. Bella tried to step back, but her feet were stuck in sand. I didn't ask for this, Bella whispered. The woman tilted her head slightly. You picked it. The ocean behind her rippled as if breathing. Every time they praise you, I collect. Bella woke up with a scream. Her room smelled faintly of salt. Water dripped from the edge of her mirror onto the floor. Bella stood frozen. She slowly walked to the mirror. For a split second, she saw the same woman standing behind her reflection. Then it disappeared. Bella staggered backward. She grabbed the lipstick and tried to break it. It would not bend. She tried to scrape it against the wall. Not a single mark appeared on the red surface. Her phone buzzed again. Adaeze had fainted. Bella rushed her to a nearby hospital in Surulere. Doctors ran tests. Nothing. No infection. No diagnosis. Maybe stress, one doctor suggested. Bella sat beside Adaeze's bed, guilt crawling through her skin. Adaeze opened her eyes slowly. Bella, this one you are glowing, I don't understand, she whispered weakly. Bella forced a smile. It's God. Adaeze studied her face carefully. God has remembered you. Bella nodded, but could not hold her sister's gaze for long. Adaeze reached for Bella's hand. Let me see that lipstick you're using. Maybe I should glow small too. Bella shook her head immediately. No, Adaeze frowned. Why? It's nothing special. Adaeze gave a soft laugh. You think I don't notice? Since you started using that thing, everything changed. Let me try it. Bella hesitated too long. Adaeze noticed. Slowly, Adaeze reached into Bella's handbag and pulled out the gold case. Bella's heart pounded violently. Adaeze, leave it. But Adaeze had already twisted it open. The red gleamed under hospital light. She applied it lightly across her lips. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Adaze's pupils widened. Bella? Her voice trembled. It's cold. Bella grabbed her shoulders. Wipe it off. Adaeze turned toward the mirror across the hospital wall. Her reflection stared back blankly. Then it smiled slowly, wider than her real face. Adaeze gasped. Did you see that? Bella's throat dried. The hospital room suddenly felt heavy. Adaeze's breathing became uneven. Bella, I can't. Her voice cracked as her body began trembling violently. Machines beside the bed beeped rapidly. Nurses rushed in. Bella stood frozen, staring at the lipstick in Adaeze's trembling hand. For a split second, she saw water pooling beneath the hospital bed. The Marine woman stood at the corner of the room, visible only to Bella. Her expression was calm, satisfied. Two sisters cannot shine the same way, the voice echoed inside Bella's head. Bella screamed, but no one heard her words clearly. Doctors stabilized Adaeze barely in time. Bella was ordered to step outside. She leaned against the hospital wall, shaking uncontrollably. She looked down at the lipstick in her hand. It felt warmer now, alive. That night, Bella did not sleep. She sat in her dark room staring at the mirror. At exactly 2:17 a.m., water began dripping from the ceiling, though there was no leak. The mirror surface moved like liquid. Slowly, the Marine woman stepped out of it. Fully, physically. Water trailed behind her feet, but never touched the ground. Bella could not move. The woman's eyes locked onto hers. You invited me into your house, she said calmly. You fed me with praise. Bella's lips trembled. Leave my sister alone. The woman smiled slightly. The glow must balance. Bella shook her head desperately. Take me instead. The Marine woman stepped closer. Bella could smell salt and something ancient. You enjoyed it too much, the spirit whispered. Now she pays. Bella fell to her knees, crying, Please. The woman leaned down until her face was inches away. Return what is mine. Bella's eyes widened. How? Come to the water. The woman stepped backward slowly and dissolved into a thin mist that sank into the mirror. Bella sat on the floor, shaking. The room was dry again, but the smell of salt remained. Bella knew what she had to do, but she also knew something else. The spirit was not finished yet, and Adaeze's life was hanging like a fragile thread in the hands of something that lived beneath Lagos waters. Bella did not wait for morning. The moment the Marine woman disappeared into the mirror, Bella grabbed the gold lipstick and ran out of the house. Lagos was still awake in its usual restless way. Danfo buses roared past. Streetlights cast long shadows across wet asphalt. But Bella's ears were ringing with only one sound, the echo of the spirit's voice. Return what is mine. She entered a taxi without thinking properly. Lagoon side, she said quickly. The driver looked at her through the mirror. By this time? She did not answer. Her fingers tightened around the lipstick. It felt heavier than before, almost warm, almost breathing. When she reached the water, the city noise felt distant. The lagoon stretched wide and dark, calm on the surface, but deep beyond understanding. Bella stepped closer. Her heartbeat pounded against her ribs. I have brought it back, she whispered. The air shifted. The water moved gently as if responding. Slowly, the Marine woman rose again from the surface. This time, Bella saw her clearly, tall, calm, beautiful in a dangerous way, long hair flowing behind her like it belonged to the current. Her eyes held no anger, only certainty. You took what was not yours, the spirit said. Bella shook her head weakly. I didn't know. You knew it was not normal. The words were firm. Bella felt shame tighten her chest. She remembered how she enjoyed the compliments, how she watched other women shrink beside her, how she smiled when men fought for her attention. I am returning it, she said desperately, holding out the lipstick. The Marine woman did not reach for it. The debt has already begun. Bella's knees weakened. Please, my sister is dying. The spirit tilted her head slightly. Two sisters cannot shine with stolen light. One must weaken for the other to rise. Bella felt something break inside her. Take me instead, she whispered. The Marine woman's eyes sharpened. Would you give your own life for her? Bella swallowed. Fear ran through her body, but she nodded slowly. Yes. Silence stretched between them. Then the spirit spoke again. Throw it into the water, but understand this. When the borrowed glow leaves you, it will leave emptiness. You will become ordinary again, and the wound of comparison will remain. Can you carry that? Bella closed her eyes. She saw Adaeze's face in the hospital bed, pale, weak, struggling to breathe. I can carry it, she said. Without giving herself time to doubt, she threw the lipstick into the lagoon. The gold case disappeared beneath the surface immediately. The water stilled. The Marine woman looked at Bella for a long moment. It is done, she said. Then she sank back into the water, leaving no ripple behind. Bella fell to her knees on the shore. The strength she had been feeling for weeks drained from her body. She felt small, exposed, ordinary. Back at the hospital, Adaeze's breathing stabilized slowly. Doctors were surprised at the sudden improvement. Bella rushed there as fast as she could. When she entered the room, Adaeze's eyes were open, weak but alive. Bella grabbed her hand tightly. I'm here. Adaeze looked at her carefully. Bella, your face. Bella forced a smile. What about it? You're not glowing anymore. Bella swallowed the pain in her throat. It was never real. Adaeze squeezed her hand weakly. Bella, promise me something. Anything. Don't ever compete with me. We are sisters. We are not rivals. Bella nodded as tears filled her eyes. I promise. Days passed. Adaeze recovered slowly, but Bella's life shifted completely. At work, her boss stopped praising her openly. Colleagues treated her normally again. The special treatment vanished. The men who once sent gifts stopped calling. Lagos returned her to the crowd. At first it hurt more than she expected. She missed the attention. She missed the feeling of being chosen. Sometimes she stood before her mirror and almost imagined red on her lips again. But it never appeared. One evening, as Bella and Adaeze sat on their small balcony, watching buses fight for space below, Adaeze spoke softly. Bella, you don't look unhappy. Bella looked at the noisy street. I was happy before. I just didn't know it. Adaeze leaned her head on Bella's shoulder. We will both shine, but in our own way. Bella nodded slowly. Deep inside, she knew something else. She had escaped with her sister's life, but not without scars. The Marine spirit had not shouted or cursed. She had simply balanced what was stolen. That night, Bella stood before her mirror one last time. She saw herself clearly. No extra glow, no supernatural shine, just Bella. And for the first time in a long while, that was enough.
Moral of the story: not every glow is a blessing. When you chase attention, envy, and quick favor, you may unknowingly trade the peace and safety of the people you love. Borrowed glory always demands payment, and sometimes the price is too heavy. True success does not steal from another person's destiny. shine in your own time, in your own way, and never allow jealousy or comparison to open doors that patience and hard work can open safely. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment for more interesting stories. Bye bye.